Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Nandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Rajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Rajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Go Premanande. Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Rasikacharya Dasa Shishimadaisi Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Rasikacharya Dasa Shishimad Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Go Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 30, Text 44, which is entitled The Activities of the Prajetas. Atat niryaya salitat. Atat niryaya salitat. Prajetasa udanvataha. Prajetasa udanvataha. Vikshya kupyan drumaisjanam. Vikshya kupyan drumaisjanam. Gam gam rodhum ivo chritai. Gam gam rodhum ivo chritai tyai. Ataniryaya salitat. Prajetasa udanvataha. Vikshya kupyan drumaisjanam. Gam gam rodhum ivo chrityai. So please.
Ataniryaya salilat. Sasa udanvataha.
Ataniryaya salilat.
Ataniryaya salilat.
Prajetasa
udanvataha.
Vikshya kupyan drumaisjanam. Gam gam rodhum ivo chritai. Ataniryaya salilat.
Prajetasa udanvataha. Vikshya kupyan drumaisjanam.
Gam gam rodhum ivo chritai.
Vaishnavis.
Ataniryaya salilat. Prajetasa udanvataha. Vikshya kupyan drumaisjanam. Gam gam rodhum ivo chritai. Ataniryaya salilat. Prajetasa udanvataha. Vikshya Vikshakupyandrumaishchannam
Vikshakupyandrumaishchannam
Gam gam rodhumivochitaihi
Gam gam rodum ivochitai.
Atha, thereafter, Niryaya, after coming out, Salitat, from the water, Prachetasaha, all the Prachetas, Udanvataha, of the sea, Vikshya, having observed, Akupyan, became very angry, Drumahi, by trees, Jannam, covered, Gam, the world, Gam, the heavenly planets, Rodhum, to obstruct, Iva, as if, Uchritai, very tall. Translation. Thereafter, all the Prachetas emerged from the waters of the sea. They then saw that all the trees on land had grown very tall, as if to obstruct the path to the heavenly planets. These trees had covered the entire surface of the world. At this time, the Prachetas became very angry. Purport. King Prajinabarishat left his kingdom before his son arrived after their execution of penance and austerity. The sons, the Prachetas, were ordered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to come out of the water and go to the kingdom of their father in order to take care of that kingdom. However, when they came out, they saw that everything had been neglected due to the king's absence. They first observed that food, grains were not being produced and that there were no agricultural activities. Indeed, the surface of the world was practically covered by very tall trees. It seemed as though the trees were determined to stop people from going into outer space to reach the heavenly kingdoms. The Prachetas became very angry when they saw the surface of the globe covered in this way. They desired that the land be cleared from crops. It is not a fact that jungles and trees attract clouds and rain, because we find rainfall over the sea. Human beings can inhabit any place on the surface of the earth by clearing jungles and converting land for agricultural purposes. People can keep cows, and all economic problems can be solved in that way. One need only work to produce grains and take care of the cows. The wood found in the jungles may be used for construction cottages. In this way, the economic problems of humanity can be solved. At the present moment, there are many vacant lands throughout the world, and if they are properly utilized, there will be no scarcity of food. As far as rain is concerned, it is the performance of yajna that attracts rain. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 3.14, Annad bhavatin bhutani parjanyat annasambhava, yakyat bhavati parjanyo yakya karma samudbhava. All living bodies subsist on food grains, which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, sacrifice, and yajna is born of prescribed duties. By performing sacrifice, men will have sufficient rainfall and crops. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavanishvari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaevacha Patitanam Bhavanevyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Once again the verse Atanyariyaya salitat prachetasa udanvataha vikshya kupyan drumaisjanam gam gam rodhum ivo trityai. Thereafter all the prachetas emerged from the waters of the sea. They then saw that all the trees on the land had grown very tall, as if to obstruct the path to the heavenly planets. These trees had covered the entire surface of the world. At this time, the prachetas became very angry. So here we hear that the prachetas came out of the water where they performed severe austerity for 10,000 years, I think. It was Satya Yuga. And they had attracted the Supreme Lord to give them a benediction, to appear personally in front of them to give them a benediction. So you can imagine how dear the prachetas were to the Lord. And he personally gave them the instruction, now it is time to come out of the water, go to the kingdom of their father and bring everything in order, because Prajnaparisha had left without waiting for his sons, and in his absence everything had been messed up. So we see the surface of the globe was covered with very tall trees. In this time, the trees were very tall, not like trees today. These are not trees, but the land wasn't produced any grains and foodstuffs and stuff. Although it is said that in Satya Yuga the fields are producing grains and whatever needed without being treated, without man's help. But then slowly after that, man had to endeavor to produce grains, and that means hard work. So in the early days, no hard work. Everything was just growing, and fruits and vegetables and whatever needed was around plenty for the food of the entire world. Actually, there is no scarcity of food, because every living entity is maintained by God. So if the people is in goodness, lives in goodness, and worships the Supreme takes care of everything. But as soon as the society becomes godless, so slowly the earth retire its mercy to produce food. It is even said that the deserts in the earth, they become all more and more desert, because of the godlessness of the civilization. The earth retire its mercy, and that means that, like, as Kali Yuga progresses, the earth will be covered with desert. No more vegetables, no more fruits. The people will eat themselves. They will reduce to cannibal. There was once, in the 70s, there was a movie with Charlton Heston. I don't know, what is the title again? Soylent Green. Soylent Green. I don't know if you heard about this movie. It's like, it is said in this movie that the only food which was available was like wafers. This company, Soylent Green, they produced wafers from the sea, they said, like from the algs.
Seaweed?
Yeah. So they produced all these wafers. And so this was the only food which was available. But this company had also another function. They also get rid of all the corpses, because in these days the people were very violent against each other. A lot of violence. There was so many killings around. So they got all the corpses and brought them to the same factory. And that meant that these wafers were actually produced from these corpses. And the people, they were addicted to human meat. But that will be at the end of Kali Yuga. We don't have to worry about that. We will not take birth in these conditions of life as a devotee. So, the Prachetas also, they came out of the water because of their being instructed to do so by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They were instructed to do so to make austerities and penance in the water in order to be able to rule the kingdom, to produce progeny, and that will mean everything which we can achieve is possible by austerities and penance. Like, for example, if somebody wants to have a gold medal in sports, he has to restrict himself very much in the food, in his habits of living. The whole day has to be very strict in order to. So that's a penance. That's we are not just living as we like, but we have a goal, and we want to achieve that goal. And in order to achieve that goal, some penance is needed. So, in the same way, we see in the Vedic times to have a family and to produce children, that meant to go first to make some austerities. That's why we see there is gurukuls. From the age of 5, the young boys, they go to Gurukul to restrain themselves and to get some knowledge and strength to be able to fulfill their goals. So only if we are in solitude, we are able to properly restrain our senses and know how to live a proper life, to do the right thing. If we have sufficient knowledge of who we are, who is God, what is our relationship with God, what is our relationship with our surrounding, the more we are able to know the essence of life and to be convinced about what we are doing. It takes conviction. I mean, Shraddha, the first stage of spiritual advancement, means to be convinced about what is written in the Shastras, to be convinced that this is the truth, this is how it is, and this is the best way to live. And also to be convinced that those who are living Shastras, who live that knowledge, are my superiors, and we follow what they say. Like, for example, we see King Parikshit. He was cursed to die within 7 days. And what he did immediately, he was the king on planet Earth. He had all the opulence. He was extremely powerful and wealthy. But in that moment where he heard that he had to die in 7 days, he left all behind. He walked to the Ganges to fast till death and to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, to hear from authorities what is the right thing to do for mankind, especially when they are in front of death, when they are dying. We are all in front of death. We can die at any moment. So, and to live such a life, it takes conviction that what we are doing is the right thing. Let's say, for example, many people, when the New Year takes place, they take some resolutions. We will, in the New Year, we will do like this austerity and that penance. And they are very much convinced, yes, that's what I want to do. So if that stays a mental construct, they just think about it. Yes, that's what I'm going to do, yes. And after they don't do anything. That's the mode of ignorance. Like resolutions in the mode of ignorance. So then there are some, they start with their penances, with their resolutions, but there is some liking and disliking. As soon as they feel, oh yes, it's nice, I like it, they continue. And as soon as, it's not so nice anymore, I don't like it anymore, they stop. So that's in the mode of passion, resolution in the mode of passion. And in the mode of goodness is, you just know it's the right thing to do, and you just do it. And you don't think about it. You don't bother with, is it okay? Is it nice? Is it not nice? You took the resolution, you know, that's the right thing to do, and you just do it. So in the same way, Parikshit Maharaj, he knew exactly that's the right thing to do. And I don't have anything to do with this body. I just sit down and listen. Listen to what authorities are telling. And there Shukadev Goswami came on the scene to speak the Srimad Bhagavatam. And also Vyasadeva, like Vyasadeva, he was the compiler of the four Vedas. He was the compiler of Vedanta Sutra, Mahabharata. And still, he felt some dissatisfaction. He was not satisfied with his task to have performed the Vedas, to have written the Vedas. And Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi ki, Jai Shri Shri Gaunitai ki. So one could say, okay, he was writing down the whole Vedas. He should be content, he should be satisfied with that, but he wasn't. He was morose. And only by the grace of Narada Muni, who told him, you should have described the loving service to the Supreme Lord. And then he knew, although he was an incarnation of God, he was God himself, but still to teach us that the goal of life is to perform devotional service, and we cannot be satisfied without performing devotional service. He showed us the way. Yes, we have to hear from authorities to do the right thing and to be happy. Like we see when it's cloudy and rainy, most people are like under the clouds in their consciousness. It's gloomy, it's dark, it's rainy, it's not nice, they're morose. But if you are rising above the clouds, it is sunny, it is clear, it is very nice, it is peaceful. So the consciousness of the living entity have the tendency to be morose, to live under the clouds. And we can also see, like in the Bhagavad Gita, the first thing which Krishna says is Ashaucham anvasochastvam prakyavadams chabashase. Ashaucham, don't lament. He says to Arjuna, don't lament. You are mourning what is not worthy of grief, so don't lament. And the very last thing, the very final thing Krishna says is Savadhamam parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshaishyami ma sucha. So it can be said that the whole Bhagavad Gita is encapsulated in these two words. Actually one word, Saucham. Don't lament. Don't be morose. And Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to lift Arjuna out of this moroseness. And we can see that when he came out of his moroseness, he was convinced that what Krishna says was the right thing to do. And he just did it. I have to fight. This is my duty. And there is no question of lamenting or being fearful, morose, all this stuff. And he just did what he was supposed to do. So this is very instructive. And we see also, like, following authorities. Let's take King Priyavrata. King Priyavrata, he was a self-realized soul. He was completely fixed up in his devotional service. But his father wanted that he rules the kingdom. Swayambhuva Manu. He wanted that he rules the kingdom. He was the only qualified person to rule. But he didn't want. He said, why should I enter into material life, family life, if I have already peace of mind, I have already attained the goal of life, like devotional service. And then Brahma came down. Brahma himself came down on his swan. And he was speaking with Priyavrata that this is the right thing to do, this is the best for him, for society in general, for the whole planet Earth. In these times there was not a question of ruling small kingdoms, that was the entire planet, even the whole universe. So Priyavrata, he took up this task to rule the kingdom and to marry, to beget children, and to enter into family life. Although he was completely renounced. And that's amazing. It is possible to enter into family life and to be completely renounced. And it was so that his wife and his children, they didn't knew that he was completely detached. They were fulfilled. They were happy. Priyavrata was treating them as if he was his their loving husband and father, although he was completely detached. Same Krishna with his queens in Dwarka. He was playing the role of like a puppet in the hands of his wives. But he was completely detached. Same with the gopis in the rasa dance. The most beautiful women in the whole creation. He just left them without looking back. Of course he came back because of their separation, because of their sincere feeling of love. So, yes, Priyavrata, that's amazing. It is possible if we have sufficient knowledge, and not only knowledge alone is not enough. We have to have the strength, the mercy to be convinced. And the more we are practicing what is the right thing, the more we become convinced. Like the state of prema, ecstatic love to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is nothing but mature faith, mature shraddha, the mature conviction that, yes, this is the right thing to do. The more we practice, the more it becomes clear for us, this is the right thing to do. So, we have enough examples. Or like, let's take Ashvatthama. Ashvatthama was killing the 5 sons of the Pandavas while sleeping. And he brought their heads to Duryodhana in order to... He was imagining that Duryodhana was very pleased with him if you bring them their heads. But he was not pleased at all. And Arjuna, he was chasing Ashvatthama to bring him back to Draupadi. He was, even Krishna told him, you should kill him immediately. Bhima told him, you should kill him immediately because of this, of this act of violence. But as soon as he came before Draupadi, she said, let him go. I don't want that. Kripi, his mother, was feeling the same feelings that I feel, having lost my 5 sons. So let him go. So Arjuna was in a state of like bewilderment, because he had to satisfy not only Krishna, who said kill him, Bhima, who said kill him, and his own wife, who said just spare him, don't kill him, let him go. So he had the task to fulfill all of their desires. Yeah, and the solution was that it is said in the scriptures that if you take someone's hair, and he took Ashwatthama's jewel, so if you take him that, it is worse than dying. So with a shaved head, without hair, they just sent him out of the camp. So he was humiliated, and it was more than dying to die. Yeah, that's very significant. So we are very fortunate to have the Srimad Bhagavatam, to be able to study, because we have to study the scriptures in order to get the strength of conviction, to chant the holy name. It's nice to chant the holy name, but we have to base our chanting with the understanding. What is it that I'm doing? And so the scriptures, Guru and Sadhu, they give us direction. We are very fortunate to have these directions brought by Srila Prabhupada to us in the West. It's like when we look in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, before they met, Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Srivas Thakur and Haridas Thakur to find Nityananda Prabhu. And they couldn't find him. And there is a commentary from Jiva Goswami that it is very, very significant that Haridas Thakur and Srivas Thakur couldn't find Nityananda Prabhu. Ontologically speaking, who is Srivas Thakur? Is Narada Muni. And who is Haridas Thakur? Is Brahma. Right. So, Brahma, so the commentary of Jiva Goswami is, if Brahma, the creator of the universe, and Srivas Thakur, Narada Muni, who is traveling to every single corner of the universe, that they cannot find Nityananda Prabhu. It is very significant. Because if you ask for direction to find any place in the universe, Srivas Thakur and Haridas Thakur, Brahma and Narada Muni, they are the two people who are competent. These are the two people, the one who created the universe and the one who was traveling to every corner of the universe to find Nityananda, who is the Guru. So only very fortunate and rare souls are making this connection with the Guru to be able to go that way, to make that way, to satisfy the superiors and to reach the goal of life and to give it to others. So this is another example from the Prachetas. The Supreme Personality of Godhead was very pleased with them, of their penance, of their behavior. how they treated each other. And so he personally came and gave them this benediction. I mean, like Shiva, he came to bring them this mantra to chant, by which they were able to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, and now they were ordered to take the task of ruling the kingdom after this building up the strength and the conviction. So in this way, we are able to master every task, whatever it may be. If we have this is also a meaning of Nityananda. He's Balaram himself. Bala means strength. The strength of the mercy of Krishna. When Krishna wants to come here to deliver the souls, to take the souls back to Godhead, he first sends Nityananda to prepare the ground and to give the strength to the living entity to perform this task and to go back home, back to Godhead. So Nitya Ananda, that means eternal happiness. He's eternally happy. And that's what every living entity is seeking for, to be eternally happy. And the only way to be eternally happy is devotional service, is loving devotional service to the Supreme. And to get that loving devotion, it means to have sufficient strength to be able to master all the tasks which are in the way. Like material life is like a hindrance, it's like a blocking the way to eternal happiness. It's a service of Durga Devi. She's performing her service very nicely. But we have to be able to overcome that tendency to be morose. Like if we realize the futility of material satisfaction and the frustration coming out of this, then we can build up the strength to overcome this tendency to live always under the clouds, to come up above the clouds, where everything is clear, everything is peaceful, everything is eternally happy. So, yes, Srila Prabhupada brought us eternal happiness if we are able to grasp what we were given and to accept what is written in Shastras. So to accept what is written in Shastras, we have to read Shastras. We have to study. It is very important, so that we know how Srila Prabhupada was thinking, how he was able to bring us that strength and to write down this. So only very fortunate souls are making this connection to fulfill the purpose of life. Yeah. That's very important. That's why we are here. And that's what I wanted to say this morning. Thank you for your kind attention. Thank you for inviting me to say some words. Hare Krishna. Is there any comment or question or something?
Thank you, Prabhu, for the class. One thing that was going through my mind, that also Srila Prabhupada mentioned how the devotees, they will never, Krishna takes care of the devotees, so they will never starve. You will never find a devotee starve. And then he was challenged, but we see that it's happening sometimes. For example, one time there was the story of Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his village. Everybody died because of a cholera, something like that. A lot of people, they left their bodies there. But then also other places, devotees of Christians or others, they starve to death. So how do we reconcile that? And also this point of Krishna takes care of anybody anyway, like he supplies for everybody, so then why some other people, even though they don't believe in God, but they live a pious life, why do they starve also in Africa or places?
Thank you for this question. Yes. What comes to my mind is sometimes the mercy is if we get the kick to go down, to come up again. It is not the body which will be saved. It is our consciousness. And so if we see even devotees dying in accidents, like a few years ago, some devotees from Chopati, Mumbai, they died in an airplane crash, something like that. And Krishna is inconceivable. We don't know the plans of Krishna. And we just know that whatever is the situation, it is the perfect situation for the condition for the soul to be in. And what happened with the body is actually not really important. We see Haridas Thakur, he was beaten to 22 marketplaces. And he said, you can cut my body into millions of pieces, and every single piece will chant Hare Krishna, will chant the name of God. So, and I remember, like a few years ago when Tirtha Swami, Bhakti Tirtha Swami was giving up his body, my Guru Maharaj was with him. He had practically gave up his body on the lap of His Holiness Radhanath Swami. And he was actually going through so much pain that, could cry in every moment, so much pain. But what did he say? He said, it can't get any better. It can't get any better. So that means it is our consciousness which is important, in which consciousness we receive whatever we receive, even if it's giving up our lives. We see in the arenas like where the Christians were sacrificed to be eaten by lions and by tigers, and and they were standing there and chanting the names of God. Jesus Christ was crucified. So that means a lot of suffering. Bhishma Dev, he was laying on a bed of arrows. So whatever happened to our body is actually not really important. Of course, it would be nice to live in that body forever. That's the dream of the living entity. That's the illusion of the living entity. But the death rate is 10%, is 100%. So we all have to die somehow or other, somewhere or other. It can happen at any time. So it is very important to strengthen our consciousness, to strengthen our conviction, to be not morose in whatever situation we have to give up our body or we have to suffer. This is one of the 4 sufferings. I mean, birth, death, old age, and disease. That's inevitable. And that's concerned with our body. It's like somebody who drowns and you save the clothes of the drowning. What is the use to save the clothes of the one who is drowning? Like in the same way, the body. Whatever happens to the body, something will happen to the body. We will be eaten by worms and jackals and whatever. We will be burned, or we will be, so many things happen to the body. It's actually not important. But the state of our consciousness, the strength of our conviction that what we are doing is the right thing, that's what gives us everything. And that's what we take with us in our next goal, wherever we are going. So, yeah, I hope that answers the query. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that this argument or this statement that trees attract rain is not true because water also falls on the ocean. So I find it difficult to understand that in the same purport Srila Prabhupada then says that yagya attracts rain. So person could argue that, well, okay, if rain falls on the ocean and that proves that trees don't attract rain, well then yagya also doesn't attract rain because there's no yagya on the ocean. So
actually, this verse was stated, I think, because of performing our duties will be the way to get whatever is needed if we perform our duties. And of course, the mercy, God is equal to everyone. And rain is falling on the trees, rain is falling on the sea, rain is falling everywhere. But we can achieve whatever we need through performing our duties, through penance, through austerities, and to know this is the right thing to do. And the Bhagavad Gita is written for any kind of people. Whatever you believe or not believe, the Bhagavad Gita is for everybody. So, yes, all living bodies subsist on food grains which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, sacrifice. And yajna is born of prescribed duties. So all starts with prescribed duties. If we know that's the right thing to do, we can get everything. We can get whatever we need without separate endeavors. So people imagine that so many things. They imagine that jungles and trees attract clouds and rain. Where is it written? I never read something like that in Shastras. So this is like an invention of some brains who just, like so many things are invented and then people start believing in it. But if we read from authorities, if we read from Shastra, where everything is proved, not only by the Shastras, but by Guru and by Sadhu. So this is, and that's what we have to do. But only very fortunate souls go that way, start to realize what is the right thing, that is the right thing. Somehow or other you have to come in contact with Guru. And this is not possible only by knowledge. It is possible by bala, by the strength of the mercy. Yeah. Hare Krishna, I hope that satisfied. Thank you. Anything else? Radharaj, you?
Thank you very much for your class, and I would just relate to what Prabhuji said. It is a very tricky question, and I find it very tricky. Like this verse, it is coming in the 3rd chapter, and Jayasi chet karmanaste, Arjuna confuses disengagement with detachment, and then 3.4, Krishna clarifies that na karmanam anarambam na ishkarmyam purusharshnote, that disengagement doesn't equal detachment, and then this concept comes with 3.10, sahayagya prajasrishtva, that Krishna, he says that the whole universe has been created fundamentally on the base of sacrifice. Sacrifice has been an integral part. And then comes this verse that everybody has a need, like to eat, anad bhavanti bhutani, this verse. And that yagya karma samudbhava. Samudbhava means being born, and the yagya is born out of karma samudbhava, out of prescribed duties. And I think the point that Prabhupada was trying to convey is that you have to be dutiful in your life. You have to pick up the responsibilities and bear those responsibilities, and that is what is pleasing to the demigods, and not merely planting trees. That's simply by planting enough trees that we will have enough rains, but that by being responsible person, by picking up your responsibility. But it's a tricky question. I find it very tricky.
Hare Krishna. Rantarat Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Go Premanande.
Great Rasikacharya ki. Such controversy because
Hare Krishna.
Спасибо за хорошую лекцию.
Thank you very much for your lecture.
Просто приятно было слушать.
I was very pleased by hearing your lecture.
Ну, просто материальный мир, он реально существует.
Material world is really exist.
Да, мы энергия пограничная.
We are energy of Lord which between on the corner границы.
Мы в этом мире никогда не были.
We never were in this world.
Эти тела, они движутся здесь, мое тело.
These bodies, they are moving in this world.
Но я просто в нем задумался. Это как виртуальная реальность. Я в нем задумался.
But I'm like just thinking here.
Это как сон.
It's like a dream.
Я здесь во сне.
I'm here like
Асад.
in a dream. Asad.
Асад, то, чего нет.
Something that doesn't exist.
You mean the whole world is like a dream?
Весь мир это как сон.
Ну, он реально существует, он есть. Просто, ну, это все с атомов Господа. Эти все тела, они есть, действительно.
It is really exist from atoms of Krishna.
Да. Ну, я просто, ну, смотри, вот я смотрю, да, смотрю спектакль, да? Он реально есть спектакль, реально. Но я думаю, что я там этот артист.
It's like I'm looking some performance, and in this time I think that I am this actor who is on the scene.
Actor.
Actor.
Прабхупада говорит, что это как сон.
Srila Prabhupada says that it's like a dream.
It is written also in Bhagavatam, and just a few verses before,
Это также описано в Шримад Бхагаватам несколько стихов ранее.
where this is a very instructive verse. I like this verse very much.
Там очень хорошее наставление, мне нравится этот стих.
I think it's...
Не запомнил, да, кто мне говорит, чтобы я прочитал.
Yes, this verse. Everything happening within time,
Все происходит в соответствии с временем,
which consists of past,
которое вмещает в себя прошлое,
present,
настоящее
and
и
future,
будущее,
is merely a dream.
и именуется сном.
That is the secret understanding in all Vedic literature.
Это секретное утверждение всей ведической литературы.
Ну да, точно.
You know, like if in the night you are dreaming and you think it's real,
Ночью нам снятся сны, и нам кажется, что это реальность.
and you wake up and then you realize, oh, it was a dream.
И затем мы просыпаемся и осознаем, что это был сон.
In the same way, this material life seems to be real.
И поэтому подобным образом нам кажется, что наша материальная жизнь, она реальна.
Ну да.
But once we are out of this body, we realize it was a dream.
Но когда мы выйдем из этого тела, мы осознаем, что это был сон.
Ну да.
So you're right, it's a dream. It's
Поэтому
true.
мы правы, это сон.
Here's the proof.
Which verse is it?
This is chapter 29, text 2b. It means, you see, like here is 1a, 2a, 1b. It's a little bit different. Like
In the end, yes.
is fourth canto, chapter 29. It goes to text 85, and after 85, this comes 1a, 2b, 1b. And it is to be the last verse in the 29th chapter.
Okay, nice.
I love this verse it's very significant, very deep
Очень
verse.
показательный, очень глубокий стих, очень нравится.
Ты записал?
Да.
Жаль, Кришна.
Hare Krishna.
Точно.
Вам даже свои лекции давать. Сейчас давайте спробуем.
I was actually also wondering a couple of days ago, where is this?
That's a research which amazing that you remember this. Yes, so I recently just started to listen to some of his guitars. Yeah. You are in this from your project since I have this, I think I got this guitar and they renew my some devotee. So, you're constantly working alternating different molecules. I think somebody I asked him to send no idea. In vitro?
In vitro, now we are doing it in animal model. So we have animal model which has a disease.
So it's escaped my mind. Yes. I'll give you one floppy disk.
Then go to the patient.
So we bring to Simara, can you help me? Can you open the door?
The Swiss Innovation Agency, they are also supporting us. And the industries, they are all supporting us. And people need also coming out of the knowledge.
You're small.
Yeah, we're small. Then you can go to things like that. Because in the academia, you cannot do data base. They just came to us and we don't want to take things for ourselves. So, yeah, it's a big responsibility, big risk, everything.
So at some point you might sell everything to a bigger company?
Well, I don't have plans to sell a bigger company, but we have plans that we keep the company as it is, and we will develop multiple drugs. Because once you sell the company, they take it and they do their ways, cancer. Very
Alter it a little.
yeah, big more. We want the company 4 or 5 diseases you're curing actually, and you from understand the visual development in the tribes. So I have to continue studying for ALS, Alzheimer's, and multiple sclerosis, myotonic dystrophy, congenital myotonic dystrophy, and yeah, these are only human sclerosis. So we know their expertise. So if you use the other person, they will have that expertise.
Yeah.
Carefully to become or just states that. Of course, it's not all depends on how much money you have to do all things.
Yeah.
And the investors comes into the world.
Yeah. But I guess at some point, if you want to go, now it's still all in testing phase, but once it shall be produced on the next scale, then you need.
Distribution and manufacture will have broader So without selling, we can give the sub-license to them actually for usual distribution. For big companies or also for participants. They have big distribution plan all over the world. And they will do the things.
They will produce it in big scale.
Distribute that.
But still, you would also be still
Yes. I mean, it would not be part of distribution or everything, but they have big channel, it will be small. So they will do everything, and they make it the royalty. The primary aim is to cure the disease and give the medicine to the people who are suffering. So that's one of the key reasons. And that's why when I went to the meeting, different meetings, I was the last meeting in Maryland. I really felt really bad actually when people see a person not depression, they cannot really work, they cannot walk. This system disorder, they cannot really stand, they don't. And this is also pain for them, also for their family. Because I know this is also fine, and this is also just small trees and so that's the one reason why.
That also, even small kids?
Sir?
Even small kids can access.
I mean, this is kind of genetic, different kind of genetic disease. And this is why actually we now there are other modalities we can use. But we have small molecule drug which is like more beneficial to the body. Stress. So for the time everybody is appreciating our work. And the industry is also appreciating, they get funding for that. I used to work with design artisan. They now industry is now looking at us then. So I was thankful to many people around me. Of course, blessings, God, yours, and this people have important big professors to do what is not done before. And I'm contacted people from Munich to have all the European, for example, Switzerland or Germany. They have a center actually where they can go and test it. And I got a biopsy from their test. Yeah, this is So I know the clinical people there. So they gave us like 2 years back, 10 years back, actually the biopsies. So the vitro testing of the drug compound. And they all got successful now. I'm more successful. So it's years after all.
I know that. I was a PhD.
You need to from ETS, right?
So I know things are developing slowly. And all this testing, this visual pre-testing. It's a lengthy process. Means you are already since 10-15 years here in Switzerland?
I mean, I came from Germany.
Richtig und Deutsch?
Yeah, of course we did 20 years ago. Oh wow.
And since that time you're also coming here to the temple?
That time when I was very new, when I came to new, then a few days after there was a Rasikacharya.
You were at the sea.
Yeah, and there was an Oriental person, a senior brother, and he met me on the way when I was very young, actually in the university, and he told me that, there is Rasikacharya will come actually. He told me you have to go to the near to the lake somewhere. And I said, I come actually, and I directly came to there, and I was so happy seeing the Lord, and then I never came here. And after many months, so there was a friend who was living just in front of this gate. There's a student house here. Yes. So she actually came, there's a temple, we should come here. Then I came actually sometime there. Yeah, but sometimes like in a month or after 3 months I spend. And now since I like a bit close to here actually, I thought and my father also came like 2 years back. He was here. Yeah. Today already. Very nice. Yeah, exactly. So this is a very renowned Lord gave us strength to progress.